So now we've exited the big major part of the lake and we're cruising along through the cut. I think we had been briefly in the Gaillard cut, if I remember correctly. And this is the Culebra cut. We're trailing a ship that the commentator said is probably going to go into the new section because it's wider. Not so sure, but we'll see. This is a nice, calm, peaceful section. We're slowly going along. Pretty much jungle on this side. Here's Dookie over here. Say hi, Dookie. And so, you can see they get some erosion. They have to do dredging. And we're just moving along to the next series of locks. Alrighty, we will check you later. And we're under the other span, the other bridge at the end of the cut, which means that we're heading back to this next two sets of locks. Meanwhile, here's these people just hanging out. Okay, see you later. Okay, bridge behind us. Tugs and pilots alongside of us. Entering back into the zones of the two separate canals, the old and the new. Going back. So here's some of the service buildings and residences alongside the canal, because as we've discussed, a lot of people work here to keep this thing going.
I finally went after I got up there.
So that way is to the new canal and that wider shipping container ship. And this side is the old canal for ships that are a little bit smaller and less narrow. So above the tree line on the left, you can see some of the skyscrapers of tall buildings in Panama City in the distance. And here's where we're going to be coming through in the next section. And up above on the right over there, that's the wider new part of the canal. So wider new side, older, and Panama City in the distance. And you can see lower left there a train chugging along the Trans-Panama train, chugging that yellow line there. So the next part of the transit is to pull in here behind that ship in front of us. That's beyond that. That's a little gate across into the next section. Not a full size lock, I don't think. Oh, it is a lock. It's a smaller lock. That big blue ship. The hull is mostly blue and the top of it is white. You see it there in front of us with the hilltop beyond in the second smaller lake. And we're going to be pulling in there and passaging that section. The other side, the wider side. Maybe you can possibly see, we'll see it better later. There's another bridge beyond. You can see the terracing, which is part of the maintenance. To make sure that there aren't mudslides and stuff. Gotta keep the pathways across the stream clear. So meanwhile, two-way traffic on the road here, and people can stop and look and watch and wave as they've been doing. And because this is, part of the country. Part of the country of Panama. Of which the Panama Canal is a part. Sorry, Trump, but that was the deal. Okay, so the blue and white has gone on to the next section. The lock has closed behind it. That guy has taken his EISS, as he announced, and now we'll be taking our turn here in a few minutes. So that big blue and white in front of us is pulled out further. The gates, which had closed, that lock is filling back up again. It was lower before. Now you can see it's almost filled back up. We'll completely fill back up in a few minutes. And then I guess we'll be proceeding. It'll be our turn. So on the right side of our channel, not over there where it's the newer, wider one where the lock is way further out. This relatively small ship is proceeding out of the lock next to the one we're going to enter, and you can see that this lock on the left has almost refilled. That one has emptied out so that he can proceed on to the next little lake. So one is up, one is down, he's moving out, we're going in.
And you can also notice how the handwriting are taken down so the gates can go flush right into the lock wall. We're going to be on our way into the Pedro Miguel locks. Remember, at Pedro Miguel locks, all we have is a single step operation. We're going to be down 31 feet into the 1 mile Metaphors Lake level. You can also see the vessel that we have on our starboard side on the west. It's a very tight squeeze. Very tight squeeze. So we are now on our way into the Pedro Miguel locks. One step down, 31 feet, we're going to be at the Metaphors Lake level on our way into the Metaphors locks. You can also see the Bridge of the Americas right across the Pacific, built by the USA, inaugurated in 1962. At that time, it was a $20 million structure. Again, remember, it's part of the Inter-American Highway. You can drive from Panama City across that bridge all the way up to Alaska, USA. It's part of the Inter-American Highway, right over the
So we are inching our way into the Miraflores Lock. One on the left. As he mentioned, the ship on the right is in a tight squeeze, trying to get through there. And then we're going to proceed into the Miraflores Lake. A little more of the view of the support buildings and residences and roadway on the port side. Here's the Panamanian flag flying in front of one of the support buildings on the port side. So we're getting close to the front of the lock, at which point we'll be lowered. And there's a good look at the next door lock, which is refilling, and the red roofed control tower. So look at the again at the Pedro Miguel control building, and we are just about abutting the Miraflores lock. No. And they've got that railing there that I guess is going to retract or swing out. We'll see in a minute. Okay, so we're up to the lock. The water level is going down. We're seeing more of the lock. Before we're just seeing the top. And now we're seeing the bottom. There's the bow of the ship. And there's where we're heading after a few more minutes when those doors are going to open for us, those gates. 110-year-old original gates. Okay, so now here's the commentary.
This time you can see how the water is rushing out of the locks through the side culverts. So now we are on our way down 1 meter a minute. No pumps. It's all by gravity force. We're on our way down. We want to be down 31 feet at this lock. And then they open the gates. And then we should be sailing across the 1 mile Miraflores Lake to Miraflores Lock. This 1 mile lake was created by damming the waters of the Grande River, which again, before the canal construction days, this river used to flow right out exactly where we have the Miraflores Spillway Dam across the Miraflores Lock, out into the waters of the Pacific Ocean.
You have to wait for low tide to get under that bridge.
Miraflores from the Pedro Miguel. This little
tide
station is the Pedro
goes
Miguel.
up down 8 feet.
It's more over there, is that the deal?
No, the Pacific. The Atlantic one goes up a couple feet.
Okay.
The water's almost finished rushing out,
Yeah, that's
and
right.
we'll drop 31 feet while we're sitting here in the lock. Quick look again at the jungle and the hills on the port side. Beautiful. Okay, the water's calm, the gates are opening. Oh, so Dookie, look how it's a double gate. It's a double gate, and I don't know where that stairway and the railing went. Somehow they slipped away. Can you see? Okay. They open fairly quickly at that point. And you can see the hinges that sort of retract as retractable tubes that pull them in. Looks like it's hydraulic.
We're going.
The doors are almost fully open. And we're going to proceed.
Into the Metaphors locks. At the Metaphors locks, we have a
1 mile to the
state-of-the-art
Miraflores lock
visitor center. Where
from the
thousands of
Pedro
people
Miguel
from all
lock.
over the world that comes to Panama. Come to see the operation of the locks. Also, for those of you that has been down here in Panama before, and for those of you from the military that has stationed down here in
And you
Panama,
can really see
when we
that
are
we
in
are
Metaphors
slowly
locks at your
proceeding.
far port, you're going to be able to see the former U.S. Army Fort Clayton, which today is the home of many U.S. stateside universities, like the University of Miami, the University of Florida, and Texas
So we're
A&M,
inching through. We're inching
the
through.
United Nations headquarters, 8 to 10 miles away.
So the next set of locks at Miraflores, 2 set, another drop of 50 feet, take us down to sea level. And then you head to the coast at Puerto Amador, another 8 or 10 miles after that. That'll just be cruising. And I guess we'll be going under that bridge that's in the distance that you probably still can't see. So it's a little hard to tell, but the newer canal that's to the right, that is a long, it's higher. The level there is higher. That's a long berm constructed between the 2 sections. I'm assuming it's higher because it has to be also deeper for the larger ships. But and it's at a different grade. And given that slope, I guess it's engineered to, maintain the separation despite possible erosion, or they must be working on it all the time.